Oh yeah, hold on, I forgot. This is how we greet.
It's the only way.
I am so glad that you guys play along so well. I have a feeling there would be a couple of blank stares on our Tuesday group. Like there's some that I know who you are, who would be like, yeah, sure, we'll do this. And then there are
If you're
others,
in chat, name names because Aaron won't.
but there are some that will just go, no. No.
I'm
just
too
no.
good for this.
Yeah, basically.
Let me know when I could kill something.
Yeah. Wow, that was really good, Galil. Anyway, all right. So
It's okay. He'll join 2
owned
hours
him.
from now.
yeah, he won't. He'll. I have no worries because it's not like
He
he's
won't see
watching.
this.
Yeah, he won't see.
And
this.
he'll say he's been here the whole time, but we know.
I've been here the whole time. I just didn't say anything. Yep. Anyway, so welcome to another exciting week of stuff. There's some fun and exciting things going down and around the Knights of Silvermoonverse. I can't wait to tell you guys so much more.
TPK everybody tomorrow.
Upcoming, baby.
Yo, it happens so
gonna be
fast.
real exciting.
We are like poised to be on the final episodes of Game of Santos, and it is blowing my mind. And I don't know how I feel about 4 years of a story coming to a thing. And then Janasi Kwa and I and a couple of others are working on a project that's also going to take place here in May.
Richard, are you keeping secrets?
Nebulously in May.
After I let you play a sexy box lord, you're keeping secrets?
We have I'm going to be on Top Down Tabletop at the end of May for the next Star Wars one shot.
Years since you played Star Wars with them.
I know. I'm made of secrets and cheese. I like
Honestly, yeah, same.
that. Same. Yeah, it's a mood. But yeah, I'll be reprising my role as 2319, a droid. Yeah.
I'm gonna save all my channel
droid,
points now to change your voice.
I'm bringing the droid back. Yep, I'm reprising
You can
29.
just breathe backwards.
There you go. I will be 2319. We have our friend Hannah from Bards of New York is going to be joining that crew as well. It's going to be an interesting time. Then we have Dreamy. You have your final episode of
No, we
Court.
did
Well,
final episode.
you
of
did
Fate
final
Court,
court.
and
You have
if
your-
you want to find out all the secrets we didn't share on stream, join us for a brand new after show called the Post Clack Unpack this Sunday at 1 o'clock Central on Clickety Clackety.
And we cried.
We did.
Yeah, that's awesome. Super exciting.
Will Michael make me cry again, even though it's not a game session?
Probably. But yeah, so lots of exciting things. We have a lot more coming over the summer. It should be an entertaining couple of months. It's fine. My brain's not coming out of my ears. Don't worry about it. But for now,
Players called me out yesterday. I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a brain break over the summer. And Ben looks at me and said, you're going to run a one-shot, aren't you?
And you're like, obviously.
maybe
That's what I meant by brain break. Get on my level.
Get on my level. It's where I break my own brain. Duh.
Is that not what that means?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's
people say it a lot, and they keep describing really calm things. I'm like, that's how you're gonna break your brain with that?
It's like you guys are weak.
Weak.
Your moves are weak.
As I dump lavender essential oil on my head, going, make me calm.
Put on your thumb and just do the Simba thing. Simba
That's
with
why it
lavender
didn't
oil.
work.
Yeah, you have to do the lavender oil Simba thing. Anyway, I digress. We have some
I
interesting
took you
things.
there. I apologize.
That's okay. We have some interesting stuff in store for you guys tonight with some rescuers of. I was gonna say rescuers down under. The rescuers of Call of Zul.
Excellent film, though. Excellent.
Yeah.
That's right, mate.
That's right. There you go. Thanks, Jackie. But yeah, I guess that's about it. So here we go. We'll start with the intro and then we'll go from there. Whee! Kalimshan, friends. A land of wealth, magic, wonder, and of course, plenty of danger. Whee! So peaceful. That intro is just so relaxing. Just slip into the void, why don't you? It's fine. Gonna have a grabby song. It's fine. Yeah, we've all been there. Already
Slip into the
Love the
void at
void.
least once a week.
You know, it's welcome to 2023. The void is your friend. Anyway, okay. Last we left off on the Rescuers, the Call of Zool. You guys had found yourselves in a rather peculiar situation. You had gone to the house of Gaius Delwyn, Martell and Sybil's uncle, Naja's friend, and in the and found that his house had been abandoned, but also what is it called? Well, not squatted in, because that sounds just potty. But like, there was someone who was living there who wasn't supposed to be living there. Invaded, yeah, and not just living
Got
there.
stooped.
Yeah, it wasn't just any person, but apparently something that was not from this plane. A monstrous creature. After deeming it a health hazard, the party showed off some pretty incredible skills and then completely demolished the house.
Hired a contractor.
Contracted a very
the plane of
professional
fire to demolish the building.
contracted a very professional demolition company who definitely had all of the appropriate equipment and codes in place to make sure that the surrounding neighborhood was not affected by the
Look,
large.
the codes are different in Kalimport.
The Magma Elemental had a hard hat on. It was all okay.
and reflective material. You're good. You're good. Not from this plane, not even from
Clear.
this airline. To which you returned to your abodes and kind of discussed the things that you had found. Sybil, having had a interaction with one of the sisters of Demos, and learning some interesting information that seems to point to the knight Gaius Delwyn having been seduced into following this Zool, this Brotherhood of Zool, whomsoever they might be. And as Martel and Sybil had finished off the evening with a bit of a search, finding the deviations of the weave that seemed to surround some particular individuals that they had run across earlier in the day, they discovered that though they didn't find the two individuals that Martel had run into, they had found someone else who displayed the same sort of disturbance in the weave as someone who they had met earlier, but it did not display that same sort of disturbance until now. But as we aren't going to start there, we instead shift over a couple of rooms to Shaudir. Shaudir, you returned to your room to relax. After a very interesting day of having seen these, well, you kind of maybe figured that they weren't necessarily all that they appeared to be. They definitely proved today there was more to them that met the eye. As you find yourself in your room, you hear the voice that resides in your mind speak to you once again.
I feel that we have learned a lot today.
Agreed.
Perhaps it is time that we part ways with these people that you have found.
I don't see how that would expedite any of our goals. We still need a guide. She still knows all of the safest places to go. As of now, we also have another contact that she's going to take us to, so maybe, but not yet, I don't think.
Are you sure? Together we are quite powerful.
Well, of
I think
course.
we have the information we need. Why
What is
rely on others?
What we lack and what we've always lacked is information, and that's what they supply. As of now, there's more information to be gained, so it is far more profitable to keep following these people and keep learning. We've never lacked for capability, except for knowledge. Calm down, we're getting there.
And what of what we saw? Why are they so afraid of a little bit of mold?
They didn't tell me.
So maybe their knowledge they are not willing to share. What makes you think that they will keep up their side of the bargain?
Well, the ones who are being the most secretive are not the ones that we are trying to follow and learn from. It'd be nice to learn more from them. Their methods are very strange. Their goals are rather unknown to me. But our guide is the one who seems to know the more important things. So unless this mold, if it is simply that, is really going to lead to any information about her, then there's nothing specifically to be garnered about pursuing her. Also, if I'm blunt, her comrade is a bit more open, which I benefit from. He seems like a nice individual, but we learn a bit more from him.
Fair.
Do you recognize this mold? Seem to be
No.
vulnerable to fire, for whatever that's worth.
I do not.
How about
What?
the being?
It makes me curious. They were awfully in a hurry to destroy it all. There must be a reason. Something that maybe we can use to our advantage.
Her fear of mold? Hardly an expertise.
Fear is such a powerful tool.
That it is. Though, unfortunately, she knows far more about us than we know about her. And the nature of fear is unknown. So unless we have, or at least way into far more specific intimidation tactics, which I'm not necessarily for, then she is far more able to deal with whatever fear we might try and use to manipulate. I don't think that's a good method yet. Particularly if she has her friend with her. Again, also, to be clear, I do not mean any harm towards her. I don't know if... Well, I know you do.
You don't want to get a response.
But noted. I'll keep my eyes open. You keep your ears open.
You feel that.
One way or another, we'll get what we're looking for. And if it ends up coming to leaving and heading down to the Undercity, then I will take that step. But I don't think it's needed yet.
You feel still that prickly presence in the back of your neck. But he seems to have pacified for the time being.
Then I will take out my lamp and disappear into my cushiony space to sleep.
All right. Poof. Shaldir vanishes.
Shaldir, you have inspiration from Galil of all people.
Ooh.
He is here.
Hell
Oh,
yes.
that is amazing. We were just talking about you like 20 minutes ago. Anyway. All
I
right.
need to remember to use that. I think someone gave me inspiration before.
Of all people, excuse.
Can I retroactively have used inspiration to better kick the door in?
You remember that it specifically in another time and place of another dimension somewhere.
Did I kick that
you
door
kicked
in?
that
I
door in
definitely
so
kicked that
good.
door in.
You
I
kicked
looked
that
so
door in
cool.
so cool. Definitely.
And I sleep well that night, barring the unforeseen.
Yeah, you have a dream about kicking the door open like so many times, but like every door, there's another door, you just keep kicking them all, and it's just like sequentially, you just kicked in so many doors across the universe. Across the universe. All
I
right.
am the door kicker.
I am the door kicker. Watch me.
I'm the one who kicks.
The one who
They have
kicked-
not made a door that I can't kick.
Oh my
There are
god.
no walls, only doors, and I am great against doors.
You are.
Russia. In Russia, door kick you.
Yeah.
Careful.
Oh yes. Oh my god, I love it. That's how you know you've hit peak D&D. Whenever a door, you no longer fear doors.
I don't.
Yeah. Doors, gates.
I've heard that's what happens at level 20.
Yeah.
Never
Doors.
goes there.
The universal
Doors?
capstone.
I'm here to kick doors and chew bubblegum. That is such a visual.
And I
It's
won't
great. I
let
love it. I love it. All right. Naja, as you make your way home, tell me, what is your goal as you go home? Like, what's going on through your head?
Rest after that fight. And then mentally preparing to try and get Shaldir to meet Rishi the next day.
Reaching the secret, your secret hideout. that you call home. You approach the door, and off to the side there is what looks to be a little pile of clothing, a beggar that is posted up by the by like some barrels and crates. You know this to be Essa, as he is watching the door. You see just the barest shift of movement as he looks over in your direction. Oi. You all right?
What?
Khalil, shut up. Describe Essa's past childhood trauma. What are you talking about? You had a great life. Essa. Okay, where did I put? Okay. He's a half orc man. He's like kind of pulls back a little bit of his wrappings around his head. Usually he works the docks. Tonight he is working just to make sure that the door is safe as the night is starting to come in. But you know that his question is more of, are you sure you weren't followed, versus like if you were actually okay.
The tide seems quiet tonight.
Reshuffles himself to get comfortable and pulls his hood back around and like looks again like he is sleeping, but you know better. You slip inside the door.
And I hand him a bottle of something that I might have slipped from Albari's.
Sure. Kind of toss it, and even though with his eyes closed, just kind of catches it.
Stay warm.
He says thanks in Kalamshani. We'll just say thanks. the subtitles there. Okay. Walking inside, as I think you're still in the warehouses, right? You kind of still have stayed in a refurbished warehouse. You go towards where your section is, the little rooms that you have to yourselves. And you hear creaking in the rafters above you. You look up and you see Mashari. Up in the rafters, a small bowl of figs. She's like one leg dangling down, just kicking back and forth. She's just kind of watching you down there.
Did you decide to be a bird today?
It was comfortable. Where'd you come from?
Here and there.
Here and there. Had nothing to do with the fire on the other side of town?
No, it depends on who's asking, but as far as you know, no.
Oh, as far as I know. As far as I know, you always manage to get yourself in trouble.
Takes one to know one.
Oh, have you seen Gaith?
Not tonight. Been a bit busy with tour.
Of course. Tour. Fatima was looking for him. He's didn't show up yet. Just curious if you knew where he might have been. He's probably out there with his diversions.
I'll keep an eye out when I go back tomorrow.
She just kind of shrugs. Goes back to eating her figs. Fatima and Gaith usually run goods throughout the city. Together. Usually. You know that sometimes Gaith has a tendency of getting distracted down around the docks sometimes, but usually he knows the rules. And it's not like there's a standard, you have to be home before sunset kind of thing. But you know that, he should be home by now. So it's kind of a curiosity.
It's gonna sit uneasy with me after all the warnings and what we've seen.
Okay. Anything else you're wanting to do tonight?
Not tonight.
Then, as we transition back over to Martel and Sybil. You have just sensed Hathor, the peacock Aarakocra that you had run into earlier, showing herself to have that deviation, this strange twist to the weave. And it's almost like, I guess, in a sense, it going through a black hole. Like, it's just there's this void there that doesn't allow the weave to touch, but still seems to go through. It just does. You can't sense it. It is a weird space of a bubble. Having sensed that about her as she is walking through Kalimport, and you have this like, you ever seen those like in the Batman games when he does the special vision and suddenly you can see everybody everywhere kind of thing?
Detective vision.
Detective vision, yes. It's kind of like that is what I would imagine this sense is. It's a very akin to that. You can see points where the weave gathers around people, and when you're focused into a certain area, everything else kind of blurs out. Now that you're focused in on this area, what are you guys wanting to do with this information?
I mean, how closely are we able to observe her? Are we able to just like watch her go throughout her day, see what she's actually trying to accomplish, or would we not quite get that from where we are?
Can't really get it, but you just sense that she is, especially now, normally you can kind of tell a person's mood or their the way they are feeling, but there is nothing. Like I said, it's kind of like a little bit of a void there.
Guess maybe I'll look at Sybil and I'll be like, you want to go out after dark?
I could use some fresh air.
Let's go then.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. So, what are your intentions then? What would you guys like to do?
I told you after we ended last week that I was making a map because I've got the cartographer stuff, all that business. So I want to get the map, and then we're going to start walking that way.
Okay. Going out into the city, you leave the safety of your inn and head out. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with a couple crickets. Okay. You guys head out into the city, and you have, we'll say that over the course of the evening, you did it's not hard to come by a map of Kalimport. Those are pretty easily available, especially when you're at an inn. It's something that you can request, and they can give you a very crudely drawn, but where like all of the wards are kind of thing. And you had said you had wanted to make a map of where you felt the presence of those tunnels to the Undercity, right? Is that basically what you were going for, Sybil?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I don't know my notes last week.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. In that case, give me a let's see. Cartography would probably be like with your hands, so I'll just say a little bit of. We'll go. You know what? Well, we're going with wisdom though. Give me a wisdom roll, and then use your proficiency since it's a thing that you are proficient with is cartography. If you don't mind.
Mm. What I got on my wisdom roll was 13, but you said with my proficiency, so what does that mean?
So you just add your proficiency modifier to it. So I think with yours.
Oh, it's there. So 17. I'm sorry.
Okay. 17. Nice. Easy enough. You will have a idea of where the closest portals might be. There is a doorway or a tunnel in the dock ward. That's the closest one. The next closest one will be in the palace ward.
Are you walking towards any of them?
No. The last you guys had sensed her, she was making her way through the grand ward, headed eastward. Kind of basically going back the direction that she had been going when you first had run into her.
Martel, do you want to follow the lady or do you want to go check out the tunnels?
You know, you've always been better with women than I have. I'll go check out the tunnels.
Oh. And separating. I'm just saying, which one are we going to do?
Oh, okay.
My ass isn't following her. No.
Let's follow the lady.
Okay. You can split the party 3 ways, I guess.
Shaldir's gonna wake up and be like, "Time to find everyone," and they're all dead. And then I go to the other city and I die.
Hey, Dash, it's like, oh well, we start again tomorrow with new tours.
Go back to the dock. Wait for the next group. All right. So. Perfect.
Always lose all my tourists this way.
So, as you take off and go to the city, it is strange. There's still a decent amount of people here and there, especially around well-lit areas. But there is definitely a different vibe now as you go through the city, following in the direction that you had felt her going the last time. The occasional blinking, glowing eyes that seem to come from rooftops as small dragonkin clamber around or suddenly kind of shift to look over as you guys are walking through these spaces. The look of some of the locals as they watch you so boldly going through the streets with purpose, I would imagine. There's not the sense that, oh, I'm in danger, but it's more of you can feel the unease from the populace. Most of the windows are now shut and shuttered, latched and locked. There's still plenty of lanterns that keep the streets lit up, but in a very dim, sort of flickery way. Plenty of shadows from which you can walk around in. It doesn't take long for you to reach the Grand Ward, but by now, she is no longer there. You might have to stop and try and feel the presence. You went to the spot where she was at. When you are back in the Grand Ward, I'll say it's taking you about like 20 minutes or so to get here.
Yeah, see where she went.
Okay. Are you guys trying to be like stealthy at all, or are you just a little bit, not so much?
Probably, yeah. Trying to be stealthy.
Stealthy.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth roll for me then.
They carry like a poster board sign that says
We're looking for someone.
looking for evil.
The people at the airport. I'm here to pick up. I'm here for a peacock. I'm here for a peacock.
21.
We're
19.
bald exterminators.
All right, 15 and 21.
19.
19 and 20. All right, cool. Very nice. You find yourself a section that feels relatively safe and kind of extend yourselves outward once again, searching for the path that this twist in the weave had traveled. Go ahead and make a wisdom roll for me. A perception, but use your proficiency.
22.
22. Alrighty.
15.
All right. We'll say that with this, Martel, you definitely sense it first, but then since I'm imagining, while Martel is doing a little bit more of this kind of like reaching out, Sybil, you kind of keep your eyes open to the surroundings so that you're not completely, both of you standing there with your eyes closed kind of situation. So you're still reaching out with your mind, but still focused on your surroundings so that you don't get snuck up on or anything. It's a very uncomfortable sensation, Martel, as you feel where this void kind of walked through. It's like seeing the streets around you, but this path that it walked had a distortion. So it almost looks like it takes, when you're if you were looking at the street, it would take the distortion and just kind of like make this weird twisted funnel that kind of traces the path of where she walked. It's like a leftover residue that kind of just like twisted reality as she went. And she has made her way now, in the time that it took you to get here. She seems to be in the Quill Ward, not far from where you guys are at now. And then she just still feels like she's still moving, but she's in the Quill Ward at the moment. And you guys gonna go after her? Going into the Quill Ward, you follow along, try and pick up the pace so that you can kind of keep pace with her or catch up to her. You get to that point where you can start to see a few people here and there. The Quill Ward, as you had just been here earlier, has that like library vibes, right? Lots of bookstores and things. And you can see that there are still plenty of buildings that have lit windows casting light down on the street where you are passing by. And eventually you do round a corner and probably about like 3 or 4 blocks up, just making their way into the Wizard's Ward. You see the walking figure of Hathor. She's walking just very calm and serenely into the Wizard Ward. Does that little like a walk with the head bob kind of thing, as she just doesn't seem like in the hurry that she had been before, or that anybody is, especially here at night when you have seen people going about. They are like with purpose, going as quickly as they can somewhere, not dawdling. She's like taking a midnight stroll, kind of like just walking. What are you doing?
I think we want to stay back a good ways and just kind of be stealthy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds excellent. I like this plan. I don't know how well it'll work, but I like this plan. I'm just kidding.
Don't like when you say things like that.
I'll say to Sybil, let me know if you need me to drop back. I know you're better at this than I am.
I was gonna say I am probably gonna dip off somewhere and make myself smaller. Maybe look like not a kid, but I don't know, little gnome person.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of make yourself into a size. I don't know if you can necessarily change your size, but I know you can make yourself smaller for sure. Let's see here. Nope, I don't need to click that. I need this. Okay.
And if I can, Aaron, I'm just gonna stay like barely within. Like if she's in like an open space, I would wait for her to basically take the turn before I really go out into.
Okay. You follow her into the wizard's ward, and you see this the wizard's ward is definitely. It's similar in a sense to the Quill ward in that it's a really nice neighborhood, but both of you have come to know the sensation of being around a lot of magic, and what that kind of just gives to the air. Kind of doesn't necessarily smells like ozone, but it definitely feels charged. And this area of Calimport feels charged. One particularly nice little estate. It's like a 2-story building with a little bit of a tower that's built up onto the back of it, and it does seem to have. Let's see here. There is. It's called. It does seem to be part shop, part home, as Hathor's scrolled goods is it's a very simple place, but it looks like it's like during the light it would be really bedazzled. Like it looks like the sign itself has a bunch of little fake gemstones that are just brilliantly and colorfully displayed on there. But she goes up to the door. You see her wave her fingers, and a couple of little arcane sigils appear around her hand, and then she opens the door and walks inside.
Did we see what the sigils are?
It looks like some sort of spell. It's like some sort of spell work. Probably to unlock a door or something along those lines. Who knows? You can make an Arcana check if you want to try and understand what the magic is that you are looking at.
That would go incredibly well.
Oh, watch this. 13? I'm getting a lot of 13s.
Nice. This looked like something that would be used to disarm something. May not know exactly the spell involved, but this looks like a type of like dispelling magic.
What about an 18?
Probably about the same. Definitely dispelling something. You go from a probably to a definitely. You see a couple of lights turn on the inside. Looks like she just returned home. But you feel now in the presence that same sort of twisted feeling that you got from the two individuals earlier, Martel. And now, Sybil, you get to experience it kind of firsthand just from being in that proximity, aside from your diving into your senses to feel it from a long range, you now feel it up close, that sort of weird twisting of the weave that exists in that house. You definitely didn't feel that. You know that had you that you know you would have felt it earlier. This is something new. So when you ran into her before, she didn't have this sort of sensation.
Okay. Maybe we sit and hang out, walk a little bit more.
I guess we could see if we can hear anything. Maybe she'll be a diabolical villain and tell us what her plan is.
Hey, they like to monologue.
They do.
Especially
If not-
They do if they've kidnapped someone.
especially if they're vampires.
If not, maybe we get back tomorrow, try and check out where she came from.
Let's arrange just a few more minutes, get a little closer, see if anything changes, and we won't do anything, but then we'll go back.
Sounds good to me.
All right. You guys continue to watch. How long would you like to kind of watch for?
15, 20 minutes, long enough to get some information, but not long enough to look creepy.
Yeah.
Fair. Make perception checks for me, if you will. And then if you're using your weave senses, you can add your proficiency to it if you're just watching it. We'll do the regular perception.
18, that's regular.
18 with regular, okay.
15.
Okay. About 10 minutes in, you see the lights turn off. There's no outward change to the place. About 15 minutes, that twisting sort of vortex of the weave starts to dissipate a little bit. It's not as strong as it once was. It's, in fact, almost hard to sense it unless you are really focusing in, then you can kind of sense it. But it seems like shortly after the lights went out, the sensation kind of diminished.
Fall asleep.
I assume so. That's very strange.
Step back, we can try to find her again in the morning. We'll keep an eye on her for the next day or two.
Makes sense to me. I think Showdeer has a date with her. Can try to crash it.
Oh, I'm sure we can figure something out.
Oh no. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see here. Well. All right. You guys head back to your spot. Do you take the route you took to get here, or do you want to make a detour as you're going back to pass by one of the tunnels?
I shall be
Take a
right back.
detour.
You want to go by one of the you want to go by one of the tunnels? That way you can
Yeah.
show Martel.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see this map real quick. Probably the closest one that you're going to be able to stop by is the one on the dock ward on your way back will be the easiest one to swing up and around. Let me see here. Martel, as you guys are walking through the streets, you're following Sybil as she leads you through the neighborhood and back into the dock ward. You can smell the smell of the ocean on the as you guys are approaching once again. A little bit of that smell of fish. And then you catch a brief whiff of something else on the wind. A smell
Simple.
Simple. How could you?
Warn a guy
wasn't-
first.
Blaming the dog. Don't blame the dog.
That wasn't the horse. Okay. As you do, it's this very earthy. It almost smells like whenever you're in a jungle. It's that real, like, strong, rich smell of earth, and composty kind of scent. You know, it's very like earthy green. Strange for the area, but just briefly, and then
Doesn't smell like abyss fungus, does it?
kind of. You remember the smell of the earthiness of the abyss. And it's when Sybil tells you that you are close. And you start to realize that a lot of the things that you had been hearing, well, just like the sounds of the city, are eerily quiet here. The little sounds of the chirping insects, the sounds of the skittering dragon kin, the sounds of like the barking dogs or cats or whatever creatures inhabit the streets of Kalimport. You just hear the sound of wind. And you feel a little cold. And then you see built into the wall that separates the dock ward with the ward next to it an open tunnel that leads downwards with steps. All around it there doesn't seem to be any houses. It just kind of sits on its own. And the houses that are closest look probably abandoned. They don't look like they're lived in anymore. And you definitely feel a cool humidity, like you're standing in the depths of a cave, coming up from below as it kind of seeps out of this cave. And I would say right now you're standing probably only like 30 feet from it. And you get another whiff of that jungle-like air. It's definitely coming from the tunnel. And the very strong sense of unease.
Well, isn't this a magical place?
Do about this.
Wait, what did you say, Sybil?
So what are we gonna do about this?
I don't know.
This is something
not-
that we should tell the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they could help?
They might have some information.
Yeah. Well, we could certainly use that. I don't suppose the Kelter and all their dragons would be anyone to tell.
You say that and you're like looking around and you... Not that there's like wyverns on every corner, but you definitely notice a distinct lack of any of those things around this area.
No, I think they've been beaten back.
Either way, this is what I saw when I took my trip.
We're gonna have to go in there, aren't we?
Not today.
Not today.
But yes.
Always know just what to say.
Beautiful. All right. You guys head back to the Stumble Down?
Yeah.
All right. You go back to the Stumble Down. You see the night manager. It's not the usual. It's a younger half-elf individual. Probably a little bit of a sea elf to him. He looks a little bluer than most. A couple of some very interesting tattoos that seem to peek out from under his shirt and go up his neck, and he just kind of nods in your direction as he doesn't say much, as you very much just go directly to your room and settle in for a night's rest, which you all get a long rest.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like,
Nice.
Is it?
Long rest. Back to
Didn't lose any
3
HP.
spell slots.
Ooh.
Wee.
Big man.
Watch out, America.
Beautiful. All right. Starting off the next day. Let's see.
I'm going to look and see if Gaith came back at night, or if he's still missing. Or I head out early to the Stumble Down.
Okay. You go over to his section and knock. Do you knock on the door or just kind of try and go inside?
I'm just gonna try to be like sneaky about it, because if he came in late and he's asleep.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Okay. Natural 20 for a 27.
Nice. Very dope. All right. You go to the door and carefully unlatch it and peek. As it opens up just a little bit. Peek into his dark room, as he's had he's got one of the rooms with the least amount of light in it. But you see in the bed, half covered, the naked back of a face down tiefling in his bed.
Is it really him?
It looks to be him. The same blue skin.
It's not like an illusion or anything?
You would have to get closer to find out.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little suspicious still after all the weirdness of yesterday.
Okay. Graham, I don't know why you're timing. I don't know why you timed it so, but here you are.
Impeccable.
Here you are. Let's do this one. You take a cautious step inwards, and then another and another, getting a little closer to the bed. You can see the distorted parts of the blanket over like his legs and stuff, and we'll say you kind of just touch what looks like his heel of his foot, just a little bit to see if it's
Since
solid.
I forget tieflings have a tail, I'll like poke it with my tail.
There you go. It's fair. It's solid. You hear the you hear
Breathing?
you hear him just go and just kind of shuffles in the bed and like seems to burrow his head further between two pillows.
All right. Feel a little better about it.
Alrighty. Head back to the stumble down.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So, leaving the warehouse and heading out back towards the stumble down, Martel, Sybil, and Chaudier, you awaken in the morning with the distant sounds of people in the inn as the morning has come and the people are stopping through to get food on their way to their various fishing jobs and whatever other work they do here on the docks of Kellenport.
Chaudier is shunted onto his floor because it's the perfect 8 hours of his magic lamp.
Surprise!
Every time.
It's the best and worst alarm clock.
Fair. All right. Adjust all these things. So we'll say within short order, all of you are gathered around a table once again, as breakfast is being served, and you guys get ready to for whatever you're going to do today.
Good morning. So what's
Good
the plan for
morning.
today?
Well, if you are still interested in seeing what kind of deal you can get, I will
Absolutely.
take you.
Seems like the best option. So I'm in.
And you too, do you want to join?
Yes, we'll join.
Must warn you, Lydia, I don't know if you will like the way we get there.
Will I like it?
You are not quite as suspicious as Lydia is, so I think you might be unnerved, but you won't mind quite the same way.
Oh, is this a
Sure.
blindfold? You're not allowed to know how you got here, sort of thing.
It's a bit more than a blindfold.
Just kind of roll my eyes.
Now I'm very curious.
You have the option. I can point you in the way of a spa if you need to skip out.
No, I'm going to stay with Martel. I try not to separate from him too often.
I need
He's-
supervision.
He's totally trustworthy. What are you talking about?
Does Martel need supervision then?
Not necessarily.
And if anyone at home is paying attention, that's the first time that Naja has called him Martel, since this is the second or third time Lydia has
And
now
they
called him
didn't
that.
catch it that time either.
No, we've already
will.
We've accepted that we've screwed up and that you guys already know. So
Chaudier will then say, is the facade being dropped then? Is it alright to call you that?
Yeah, it's fine. Go for it.
I assume, Miss Lydia, you'd like us to still refer to you as that?
I would appreciate it.
You've got it.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm sure this will be a fun adventure.
No, are you ready to go meet some more of the family?
Your family. Is that
Yes.
more like what was it, mother? Or is it more closely related?
Family here in Kellenport is different. It's not blood.
Yeah.
We are a family out of necessity.
I can relate to that.
I'm gonna like whisper to Shaudir, people don't end up in orphanages because they got a lot of close relatives, mate.
Was she in an orphanage? He says out loud. Did I miss something? Did I?
Oh my god.
You broke him.
Martel dies on the spot.
She's
Ah,
like,
shit. I can carry him.
oh gosh. All right.
All right, I will go looking for the hanging horn here in the dock ward.
All right. Just describe to me the process that you go into.
We make our way throughout, again, kind of casual, but with a purpose, like we have been throughout the city. After all, I'm just a tour guide and these are tourists. Until we see the hanging incense horn, whatever it may be today.
Okay. Here in the dock ward, or are you going to another place?
In the dock ward.
All right. You see, Naja, there's knickknacks and stuff everywhere. There's always nets and things hanging from the sides of walls, decorations, planters, all these things. You see her go up to, what looks like a small, well, it's like a horn. It's got a, it almost in a sense, almost looks in the shape of like a lamp, like an oil lamp. It's got like a little bit of that. The point has a copper like spout on one end, and then where the horn would be, there looks like a small little grate. And she like flips up the lid, and from a pouch on her side, she takes a little bit of this red powder and pours it into the thing. And immediately from the tip of the horn, you see a fine little red smoke just kind of ease its way up. Very gentle, and it kind of fills the air with a little bit of a smell of cinnamon.
Follow me inside.
She goes over around the corner to the building where this is hanging on like an intersection, a very open intersection. Goes over to the corner to a small, this whole building is made of slatted wood, and there is a door that is set into it, and it doesn't look obvious unless you're looking for the door. She opens the door and allows the three of you to go inside. Once inside, you
to supply our own blindfolds. She asks to the group. He asks to the group.
You do not have to worry about blindfolds.
Okay, good.
You go inside this room, and it is literally a small, about 10 by 10 square. There's a bunch of pillows and cushions and blankets on the floor. But it's just a square room. No windows.
Please sit, get comfortable, and breathe deeply.
You look up at the ceiling and you see like a trellis like grate over the top that it's like a skylight, and it provides the light for the room. And as you guys all sit and get comfortable, you start to smell cinnamon in the air. A very sweet spice-like scent. And you see coming from the trellis, there's like a little bit of like a sparkly. It's like whenever you see a shaft of light and you see the dust little sparkles in it, it's kind of like that. You can see like a little bit of stuff falling from above. And then you start to get a little sleepy. And a little more sleepy. A little more sleepy. You see Naja has already found herself like she's laying back, takes in a deep breath, and just kind of relaxes, like she's just enjoying the sensation. And then you
I'm
shoot.
guessing
I'm not gonna
Lydia's
like this.
freaking out.
Yeah, no, I've
Nice.
already started covering my face and just not.
Is this a drug? I'm pretty well rested.
Make Constitution saving throws if you're trying to resist.
Oh, why not? Oh, here, I'm gonna.
You
enjoy
actually
the
start yawning.
inspiration
No.
on resisting the process. Not yet. That'd be a bad news.
What's the safe word?
And Martel's gone.
It's like me getting the drugs to get my wisdom teeth out.
Dirty
Does
20.
this work fast?
Dirty 20. All right.
But like, not out of any suspicion. Shaundir's just like kind of looking around the room.
I've already slept. This is bullshit.
Yeah, this is gonna mess up my sleep cycle.
What did you roll, Sybil?
Oh, the 6.
6. You look
Yeah.
over, and your first thing is like, how could Martel have fallen asleep already so fast? Like, and you're like, pull up your shirt to kind of close your nose, and the next thing you know, you blink, and you're no longer in this room. In fact, all of you are in a very different room. It is not even a minute of like feeling like you
Shaundir
slept.
left alone.
It's everybody kind of starts waking up at the same time, and you're in a much larger room, circular. There's a couple of more cushions, couches, and a large like oil lantern that hangs from the ceiling that gives a nice dim light. And it's just like that you're just, you swear you just didn't even blink, and you're just now in this other place as you're starting to wake up, and you don't feel tired, you don't feel sleepy or groggy, you just like, it's like literally blinking and you're here.
As soon as I wake up, I
Welcome
say,
to the
"Damn it."
manor.
Who's? What was his name again? Or her name? What was their name again?
Their name is Rishi.
Rishi.
You
Are they waiting for us to approach? Is it this like a very
it's a
dark room?
it's
Is it
it's a
fairly well lit?
dimly lit. It's relaxing. It's kind of like those spa rooms. It's not like a bright, but it's not like dingy darkness either.
We will be invited if we are welcome to speak with Rishi today.
Excellent.
You know,
Did they carry us here, or was that the magic? I guess.
What do you
that's-
think?
I don't know. And Shaundir will check to see if anything was taken from his person.
make a perception check. An investigation, I guess.
That is investigation. A 15.
All right. Everything's in place. You see the large door at the because this room's basically a big circle, so you see that there's just one door to get out of here. Naja, you know that you have to, once you're ready, you get up and go through the door.
Are you all ready?
Oh, of course.
All right.
Was the blindfold thing like metaphor, or is that coming up?
I said you didn't need a blindfold to get here.
Oh, I thought you said you might need like more than that, and I was expecting being bound. Oh, this is even
Expecting
better.
or hoping?
Perhaps you can go figure that out with Hathor. Because you two haven't said anything about Hathor, right?
No.
Hathor binding me up?
What do you say to that, Shaundir?
Why would she do that?
Oh my God, I
Now,
love
you
you.
are too sweet for Calimport. It will eat you alive.
You're like again with the terms of the eating of
You're
you
also
alive. Everyone's always wanting
so
to eat
strange.
me.
Well, I'm ready for this Rishi.
Please follow me.
She gets up, walks to the door, and silently it opens smoothly. It's almost like you expect a door that looks so big and heavy to make some sort of noise, but it seems to swing on hinges that leave no sound. There's no click. There's no nothing. And you see that it's a good probably 7-8 inches thick of a door. It is a solid piece of can't tell, like wood, but it looks like it has a little bit of metal in it. At least with the door frame itself, it has like a very metallic edge to it. So it just slides open, and on the inside you see another lounge, but this one doesn't look so much made for sleeping and receiving like the one you just left. This one looks more for conversation. You see that there are a couple of individuals that are currently enjoying some hookah in the corner. Couple of humans, an elf, just some people look like they're chilling, having a conversation quietly. They look at you as you enter. There's probably 2 doors that are immediately visible, one on the left and one on the right. And directly in front of you, you see a large fireplace. And it's the first time you've seen a fireplace in Calimport that's like well lit and seems to be roaring with a fire. There is like a couch that faces the fireplace, and a figure stands up. As she stands, you see a tall, slender fire genasi. She looks to be made of a material that looks like embers, burning slightly with a glow that kind of shifts across her skin, almost in a pulse, like a heartbeat. Just kind of goes, whoa, whoa, nice and calm and serene. She doesn't have, seems like she has either a shaved head or no hair, as it just seems to have this heat that radiates from her head, and it kind of almost gives the illusion of hair, but it's that mirage of heat that kind of gives waves to whatever is behind her that kind of makes it look like there is hair that is flowing from the top of her head. She gets up and stretches, and you realize that she's not wearing clothes. She's just entirely head to toe looking like she is made of this glowing ember. And it's not like she's necessarily, by human standards, naked. It just looks like she doesn't require to have, she has nothing to hide, and it's just very beautiful and simple form. And as she goes, takes a couple of steps towards you, she kind of cocks her head to the side. Naja?
Yes.
It's good of you to come and visit. You haven't come by in quite some time.
It has been a while.
I see you have brought your tour guide friends.
Yes, I've got some interesting new guests here. One of which who's ready to make a bargain.
So it seems. All these outsiders coming in at once, and together no less. You may call me Nayeli. You are in luck, Naja. Rishi is home today. You wish to speak to him, no?
Yes, at least this one does.
May I inquire as to the reason that you are coming? This one.
Me? Yes. I am searching for a very specific Dao genie. One by the name of Milage.
Yes.
I've
Your mother.
tracked.
Shaldir is your name, is it not?
He looks at Naja and is like, "Oh, I've been introduced then."
Not from me. Though Nayeli does seem to know everything in town.
Do you know of whom I'm speaking then? Miss Nayeli.
I have not met this person that you seek, but I am aware of what you are looking for. The same for you both. She looks over at Martel and Sybil. A search for your uncle, I have heard.
That's right.
So many lost family members.
Well, you have come to one of the largest families in Kalimport. I'm sure we can help you find what you are looking for. Perhaps. Come with me. She turns around and walks towards the fireplace. She bends, crouches down and sticks a hand directly into the fire. You hear the sound of a click. And the entire fireplace kind of shifts backwards a little bit. And you see that on the right side there is a passageway up that's up into the wall. Come with me. And she leads you, or she starts to walk into the passageway.
And I'll follow right behind her.
As will Shaldir.
All right. Martel, Sybil, do you guys follow as well?
Yeah.
Walking into the doorway and into the cramped tunnel beyond that seems to lead deeper into whatever space this place is, you hear the shifting of stone behind you once again as excuse me, the fireplace moves back into place, sealing you into the room or into the hallway and leading you to wherever we will find out after the break. So, I am CS Graham, and this is my favorite episode of the miniseries. Just you wait. We have some interesting things ahead. Listen, I can't just do sexy tabaxi. I can make some sexy, elementals. And birds. Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
We'll see.
We'll see about that. But yes, so thanks everybody for who's been hanging out so far. Hello, Bird. We will be right back. Give us like 10 minutes and we will return. So don't go anywhere because you won't want to miss whatever is happening next. Dang it. It was so close. I was trying to get 2 seconds more, and then Martel would have said, all right, if you insist. That's the first thing back. It's fine. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are refilled. Actually, I did not get out from my chair. I just realized, but that's okay.
You never
Aaron,
left.
do you need
I never
water?
left.
You didn't do
Did I
either
get
of the
up?
two things we mentioned.
Wait, did I get up?
I don't know. We all
You were
got
here
up.
when I came back.
I think I got up.
For a minute.
Roommate, did Aaron
think-
go pee?
Yeah, I think I did get up. I literally have no memory of what just happened. I think I did though.
Aaron's so drunk.
Second half's gonna go great.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine.
Aaron's developing dementia on stream.
Oh no.
Want to get checked for ADHD?
That's
Yeah.
why I'm taking such hard notes.
You know, I should probably do the same. All right, so
Well, you record these, so that helps.
yeah, that is also fair. Okay, let's move this back over.
We have no choice but to traverse the long dark of Moria.
Yeah, basically, and you're walking with a very
All
miniature
right, guys. Who
version,
spoke, friend?
and you're walking with a very small version of not the Rancor.
A very
The fire-
small,
Franchise.
fiery rancor.
Cave troll.
The Balrog?
Yeah, that one, the
Oh,
Balrog.
Balrog.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The Rancor, you know, with wings and a fire whip. That one. Yes, welcome back
talking
to the first episode of Call of
You're talking
Duty.
about a Baylor.
Baylor.
Very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, clearly.
Very different.
All right. You guys have entered this small tunnel, and it is literally wide enough for shoulder to shoulder. There's probably like 2 or 3 inches on either side of your shoulders as you walk down this hallway. Definitely leaning into the tight corridor. The space in front of you is lit by Nayeli's passing, as she seems to be the only light in this tunnel. The air is cool and still. The ceiling curves up above, probably about a foot above your head. And hearing the shutting of the stone wall behind you seems to give you even more of that impression of you have been sealed into a tomb. Even for Naja, this is your first time going through this particular passage. You have seen many of the rooms of the manor, but not this one. You walk for about a minute, further and further back. Finally, you enter a larger circular space, almost about the size of the one that you had woken up in not that long ago. In the very center of the room is a single shaft of light that comes down from what almost looks like a grate in the ceiling. This definitely gives you those vibes of whenever a character is in the city, in a sewer, and you just have that one kind of big open space with the one hole that's in the ceiling that's probably leads directly to somewhere above, somewhere innocuous. You even swear you can hear the sounds somewhere of people or the din of the city coming from that same shaft of light. But here, that is all that you hear. The occasional little drip of water as you're in this space. I'm pretty sure I had a... Yeah, there you go. Nayeli steps over to the side, and you can see that in this circular room there are 6 pillars that support the ceiling, just evenly spaced all the way around. She goes towards the central pillar of light, and you can barely make out the walls around you, but you get the sense of the circular. Once she sees that all of you have exited, she stands over to the side and faces the opposite way. Eldest, Uniter, Rishi. The daughter Naja has arrived with some guests. There's a moment of silence that hangs in the air. And then you hear the very slow footsteps that echo in this room as someone steps closer to the opposite side of this pillar of light. Dressed in dark clothing, a masked figure stands on the other side. A porcelain mask with gold etchings decorated around the side. You can see short cropped hair, looks slightly graying. And then you can't tell if you see just the faintest hints of ears that point open over to the side. And from this distance, you can't tell if it's... Is it part of the mask? Is it him? But his voice comes through. Naja, it has been a long time since you have graced us with your presence.
I will bow.
What brings you to the manor?
One of my guests is in search of something rather curious.
Curious, you say? How so?
Not so much something as someone. Shaldir, if you will present your request.
Aldir will step forward. I'm searching for a Dao genie. My mother, Milash. I've tracked her trade via a iron flask to the city, and I'm following that lead.
And you are certain that this Dao is here now?
Almost certainly not. But it is the only lead that I have. I've been trying to follow the steps back. This is the earliest that I can trace her. Trying to find out where and how she was put in the flask.
You know, there aren't too many contained genies left. Are you certain that this one has not been freed?
She has.
Oh. So now you seek her whereabouts?
Yes. She was freed about 25 years ago. And I have been trying to find where she is. If even possible on this plane. It's quite possible that she is no longer on this plane. But I wanted to be certain. Because traveling to where she's likely gone, the plane of Earth, is a equally, if not infinitely more difficult journey.
True. So you seek to be certain. And why have you come here? Do you think I know where she is?
Sorry, I've lost you. I'm going to reconnect super quick since it's very important. 1 sec.
No worries, you're good. Martel.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yes.
Martel and Sybil. What are you guys doing?
Maybe I'll try and get a sense through the weave of how many people are within, a reasonable distance. Make sure there's no disturbances within whatever organization this is.
Sure. Sybil, go ahead and make Martel for now. Go ahead and give me a perception check and add your proficiency with it. What
Okay.
about it for you, Sybil?
I want to. Excuse me. I want to read how Naja feels about this whole situation.
Okay. Go ahead and give me insight, and then use proficiency if you're going to use the weave to kind of get a deeper understanding.
I guess that's an 18 for me.
18, Martel? Okay, cool.
Very dirty 20.
So
Very dirty. Amazing. All right. Then Sybil, why don't you? Naja, why don't you tell Sybil what is Naja's thought process, or what is the feelings that you are having right now?
I think with using the weave as well, Naja's very nervous. She keeps cutting her eyes between Shaldir and Rishi as if maybe she's not so sure this was a good idea.
Not a good idea, as in Shaldir's in danger, or
More
all of
so
us are-
that maybe she's used up any favors too early on the wrong thing.
Okay. Hold on. Where is this? Oh, that's okay. There, he's back. Boy. Okay. There we go. Bring back Mr. Shaldir. Okay. There we go. Bring back Mr. Shaldir.
Ooh, that was weird.
It's all right.
Just zoned out there for a second.
All right, cool. No worries.
All right, can you
Use
hear me
Druid.
fine?
I can hear you fine.
Good. Okay.
Don't forget to adjust your frames.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Badoop. Badoop. There you go.
Shaldir, get out of mine!
You're
Oh,
in.
I didn't even
Oh,
push the right
sorry.
way.
Well, that was
Move
pushing
over.
yourself off of a wall.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Sorry, I was never gone.
Okay. We go over to one of the other ones. We'll do this one.
Last I definitely heard, he was asking if I knew she was still in the material plane, I think.
Yeah, because you were saying, you were asking, you were saying that going to the other plane would be, a lot more of a trip. Oh, we reached full back around with this song, with your money song. Oh, there it is. I was trying to find where my voice was. So what makes you believe it? Or has Naja been telling you that I might be able to find her for you?
I have benefited greatly from Naja as a guide. She has taken me to many good leads. This is simply... this is the one that she recommends most before I try the Undercity.
The figure has been standing with kind of with arms crossed, just like looking at you guys curiously. The moment you say Undercity, his hands go over to the sides and he straightens up.
And Nasha's gonna stiffen up at that again.
You are going to go into the Undercity?
We came in contact with some individuals who seemed to be from there, and they mentioned my father. And my father was the one who not originally imprisoned, but owned my mother while she was imprisoned. Upon her being freed, she fled, and I assumed, mostly from second-hand accounts, that he was done with her, trying to rebuild his failed empire. But if he's here, or at least in the city or Undercity, I suspect he might be trying to do what I am doing.
Perhaps you know Pradir?
There is this long silence as he seems to be. He kind of has been looking over off to the side, listening to Shaldir's words. And then finally he looks back over to you guys again. My advice would be to forget everything and just leave the Undercity be. If indeed your father is there, and if by chance so is your mother, it is better off that you just continue your life. You do not want to go to the Undercity. Trust me. He takes a step closer into the light, just a little bit.
Is that Shaldir will also step closer to the light? Is that to protect me or to protect someone else?
He looks over at Naeli. And Naeli turns and walks the way you guys came, back behind you and into the tunnel. It is to protect my family.
I see. Family is very important. But perhaps there is more risk to your family if I have no help in my task, nowhere to go, then a bit more specific and useful information. And I would like to intimidate him.
I was gonna ask if I could insight to see if that was a threat.
It was.
Perfect. Please make an intimidation.
And I would like to use my inspiration on this.
Oh, all right. Good thing you didn't use it on your dream doors.
That is a 19.
I would like to take a step towards Shaldir with the hand on my scimitar.
That was not a 19. That was a 22.
Naja, you're going to take a step towards Shaldir.
Mm-hmm, with the hand on my sword.
Okay. In what capacity?
Aggressive towards Shaldir. He's just threatened my family.
Take another roll here real quick. Okay. Naja, you see briefly on his right side the hand of Rishi kind of raise to like stay. I sense that you are not going to be easily swayed by this, are you?
It would hardly be a quest if I were turned away at the first recommendation to give it up.
Well, consider yourself warned. The Undercity is not a place for fools.
Then they had better clear out.
Naja. Will you be accompanying this fool?
Family is wise. Family doesn't last making foolish decisions.
No. No, it does not. And I'm afraid that there is much that you don't know that is at play now. Our family stands on the brink of change. But perhaps this can work to our advantage. Perhaps. There is a passage to the Undercity that is not guarded by those that live there. We can make sure that you have a way to go in. And once you are there, it will be your only way out. Without being followed. What you see down there are plans that have taken time and cultivation. For the good of Kalimport, I suggest you don't interfere with what you see.
Can I insight that?
Can I insight that?
I know it's going to be super difficult.
Shaldir, I have met this man, Pradir. He is not one to be taken lightly.
That is one of the very few things I take after my father in.
He is a dangerous man. And he is part of a very dangerous organization. We have done our fair share to make sure that we stay on the right side of this Brotherhood's hospitality. If
Brotherhood.
if you are tied in any way to the family, all of our negotiations will be for nothing.
If I were tied to the family, it would disrupt your negotiations.
He nods.
Ah, I see. So, with my quest going down there, if I had your blessing then, that would be violating some agreement that you have.
He nods again.
I see.
I got a 19 on insight.
Okay. It's hard to read, only in the sense that he's wearing a mask, so there's not a lot of facial cues you can go on. But going by body language, ever since the conversation of going to the Undercity has come up, he's become extremely uptight. Standing very straight, very stiff. Very pointed and concentrated on Shaldir at the moment.
I can assure you, sir, that from this conversation, I believe we understand each other. And I, under no circumstances, consider you to have blessed me on this journey. And he does say that with a smile.
Okay. Martel, with your roll, it was a 10.
Yes.
Cool. Even with sensing through the weave, it's not hard to read the tension that is in the room. Sybil, with yours, because you rolled a 25, I saw, right? At that level, you would definitely sense that not only is he very serious, there is a little bit of fear to what he is, whatever he is thinking about right now comes with a little bit of fear. Whatever is happening down there makes him uncomfortable, and he is sincerely worried about the protection of his family. But he has not been lying.
Having not received your blessing, sir, what information could I have intimidated out of you to benefit me enough to where I don't pose a threat to your family, or at least as minimal as possible? What is going on down there?
Preparations for the removal of the current regime. But they will take time to formulate and grow. Our job is to make sure that the city stays away from the Undercity for as long as possible.
Would I be able to infer that by current regime he means the just Cult of the Dragon?
That being said, I am not one to take things lightly when it comes to the safety of my family. And already we have lost some to the things that go on below. This is news to you, Naja. You haven't heard of any family members having disappeared or anything, especially not into the Undercity. Their bargain was that our people would remain safe from whatever it is that they are doing down there. Unfortunately, that is not the case. At least no longer. And I want to know why. My request of you is while you are there, bring me back any information that you've deem relevant or necessary. I want to know who, truly who, I am dealing with. I thought I knew. But one does not cross the family.
You said you met my father, Bradir.
Indeed.
What was the circumstances? Last I met him, he did not have the ability to speak.
He speaks quite well now. How familiar are you with the Brotherhood of Zul?
I've heard the name. Hushed whispers.
Have I heard that name, NA?
Make a history or arcana check. Sybil and Martel, what are you guys doing as all of this is going down? Or has been going down?
Aside from freaking out internally.
The vampires are scared. It's bad.
If vampires are scared? Yeah. Fair.
I mean, we can all agree the guy's a vampire.
I mean, clearly. He's got to be a vampire.
He's got a voice changer.
he's got to be a vampire.
I got an 18.
18? Probably not. You have heard of mysterious things. You have heard of maybe some insinuations that there was some new cults that have moved into the Undercity. Maybe not by name, but hearing something about a brotherhood that had moved in might ring a bell. So not maybe the latter half of it or given it, but this kind of confirms some of the things that you had heard before, if that makes sense.
Okay, well then with a passive insight of 18, can I pick up on that some of my companions outside of just what Shoutier said might have bristled at that name?
Probably. Martel's pretty easy to read, I would say, unless you're trying to really keep it together.
Martel's over there going.
I'm probably trying to guard any of my reactions in a setting like this, but I guess I can roll for it.
Go for it. Roll for put togetherness.
Yeah, what would that be?
Deception?
Deception if you're trying to keep it together, I'd probably say deception.
Okay.
How about you, Sybil? Trying to be cool as a
Cool
cucumber?
as a cucumber.
Oh,
Always.
God damn it.
Get out of my brain, Aaron.
We spend way too much time together.
Not enough.
And deception.
Yep.
Disgrace.
Oh no.
You can probably tell.
What'd you get?
I got a 10.
A 10?
I got 14.
Okay. As expected, you can definitely tell that both of them kind of have a little more. Maybe they might have a little more knowledge as to what's going on. More so, Martel. He's got that like the mathematician lady face going on, where he's just like putting things together, like, oh wait, and then you can see a little bit on Sybil.
God.
Like Sybil's definitely like thinking about it. A little more low key than Martel for sure, but you can definitely tell that she's listening, but her mind is kind of elsewhere.
Mm.
For Shadir. So you had said that you had heard it in whispers, right? That sort of thing.
Yes.
The Brotherhood is a group that finds themselves on the brink of darkness and shadow. They, in general, are skilled practitioners of the shadowier side of arcane arts, seekers of relics of power. This Pradir, he is an individual that I have met before, seeking relics of great power. He has changed since then. But he is still one who is to be feared. He goes by another name now. Dremit, the Merciless.
Remit.
Can you spell that, please?
Yes, I can. Like this. Ah, crap! That's Mercius. There you go. Dremit. Dremit!
Your dad got a way cooler name. Can I ask something that might not bring about anything?
Sure.
With my levels in cleric, am I getting any kind of like vibes or gut feeling or anything as like a reaction from that place in response to hearing about the Brotherhood and what all they stand for?
If you had to make a guess, this is definitely somehow related. You mean that place as in like the
Like
underground?
that place inside? No, like that
Oh.
cleric portion
Oh.
of Naja. From whatever
Yeah.
power.
This gives you, I mean, I guess in the sense of him
Outside of
talking
any
about,
general like heebie-jeebies.
gives you the EBGBs, and that this sort of thing doesn't belong in Kalimpor.
But
It
there's
doesn't-
no
strong tie.
gut feeling of like, oh, that's bad and you should stop it from that like cleric place.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Just aside from this, for it to be affecting Rishi this deeply, it's got to be
It's not
serious and bad, and for him to, feel like he is holding himself in this balance of like doing this for the good of the family, that they must have something on him.
Well, that is very interesting. Out of curiosity, Naja here mentioned that you often require something of the guests brought in here.
Yes.
Is this some kind of after the fact tax? Or do you perhaps offer something more substantial for something more substantial?
We'll say it's a favor for a favor. For now. If you wish, as I said, bring me anything you might find that would be of value to me or the family. Information, trinkets, heads. If you don't, then I will probably find a task or request of you, a favor, owed.
Or the information that I've already
Oh
gained.
no! Yeah.
Or the information that I've already gained.
Yes. He nods.
It's jumpy, but I think we'll survive this weird connection.
Yeah, you're good. Yes, basically yes. So basically, if you find anything that you feel like would be very useful, he'll take it. But if you don't, then you're basically owing him a favor, or you owe him a favor, which he can collect at any time.
Hmm. Not to be rude, sir, but having not received your blessing, and having been given only the bare information of it is bad down there, I'd hardly call that a favor earned.
I have and will be providing you with a means of getting down there without being found by the Brotherhood, am I not?
Are you? I'd missed that part.
Bad connection.
Very well. I can promise that I will bring you something.
Good. Make sure Naja comes back in one piece.
He'll look at Naja and then back.
If
I'm giving you
is she-
stink eye.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, I will have to subtract some pieces from you.
Seems fair. Is she a willing guide for this part of the tour?
That is up to Naja. But if she goes with you, you are to guard her with your life.
Well, it seems like this is the best option so far. If Naja willingly, and not out of some obligation to you or the family, will guide me, I will guide her. And then with a sidelong glance back at her and then to him, if she does not willingly come with me, then I cannot willingly protect her.
He nods, takes a step back into the shadows. Just a little. From behind you, over off to like the right side. Nayeli lights up once again. Apparently she has the ability to control the level of flames.
I want
Thank
to
you,
take a
Lord
few
Oishi.
steps towards Rishi
Sure.
and switch to Kalamshani for a second.
All right.
What else do I need to know?
The people down there are extremely dangerous. Extremely so. Whatever it is that this fool is looking for, he probably will not find. But I have questions of my own to ask. This is the easiest way for us to get what we need without endangering too much of the family. I trust you know how to leave if things go bad.
This is speciality.
Be careful. He says that with a little more feeling than you're used to coming from him.
Inside.
Inside check.
That is a
What's that?
25. Yeah, 25.
Damn.
Look, I built this character to be sneaky and be able to read people, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Like I said,
I can tell when you're lying, Dad.
when you've had interactions with the King of Thieves before, it's not like he's been cold or distant, but he doesn't act familiar with too many people that aren't his immediate generals. This came across very familiar, which was just different. I wouldn't say it's necessarily.
Oh, he thinks we gonna die.
But it definitely, there's definitely more to this than you've ever seen before, which was strange. But you also get the gravity of the situation, so maybe it's more of watch yourself so that you kind of protecting his own butt, if that makes sense. Martel and Sybil, what are you guys doing besides falling asleep?
I don't like any of it. It sounds like they're they're tied closely to our situation. I don't want to offer help, but it sounds like this is probably going to be our best source of information.
Do you wish to say? I mean, you guys have just been kind of standing in the back like glorified guards, basically at this point. So he hasn't really engaged with you because he's kind of made that assumption. If you wish to say anything, now would be the time. If not, then okay. So then he doesn't say anything. He looks over at Nayeli, and Nayeli comes forward. Her ember body lit and bright and glowing. Thank you for coming. And we'll guide you back. Unite her to the Tinkerers. He nods. And he turns and walks back into the shadow. Then, to the Tinkerers, then. And she starts to walk back towards the passageway that you guys came from. You know who in my mind, most of you have played Skyrim or have seen Skyrim enough a little bit. I'm thinking of the fire like elementals that you can summon in there. The fire Atronachs, I think they're called. Not maybe so much of the on fire personage of them, but that same sort of very like lithe, tall, feminine form that she just walks down the hallway, and you guys follow her out of the room. Going back into the maybe a little too claustrophobic tunnel. She leads you back the way you came. You hear the sounds of the staircase. The fireplace moving. as it like shifts over once again, and you guys walk out into the meeting room. Naja, that you know that this is kind of like the Thieves Guild hangout hideout spot where once you are in the manor, you can kind of just relax with some of the other members of the other families or other family members here. But this is not a place that most would come to because it is very still much like the boss's place. So you can hang out here, but probably mostly if you have purpose or business to talk about out away from the prying eyes. Once you are here, what would you like to do?
Go back out to the city.
Back to the city?
I think
Alright.
we all need conversations away from here.
Probably.
Naeli leads you back to the circular room where you fell asleep in. Or woke up in. Which one was it? She looks to Naja and in Kalam Shani. Take care of yourself.
May we see each other again soon.
She smiles, turns and walks out the room. Within a little bit, you know that the room will be gassed once again. So you get comfortable, and the rest of you see that once again, Naja like lays back on one of those divans and just like takes one of the pillows and like puts it, like wraps it around her arms around it, just like lays back and then closes her eyes.
I'm gonna say that this time she's still like giving Shellier the stink eye as she closes her eyes.
Okay.
Chaldeer just kind of sits crisscrossed and again just rather than lounging, waits for it to hit him.
The smell of cinnamon starts to fill the air once again. You close your eyes for just the briefest of moments and find yourself back in the same small room that you had been in moments ago.
And I ask that I hop up as Shellier is still coming to and go stick my boot on his shoulder.
Sure.
Oh, goodness.
Shellier, don't you ever threaten my family like that again. Got it.
I believe we understand each other, Naja.
And then she'll step back, brush herself off.
All right. You find yourself in the same little small room. You open the door, Naja, and you see the dock ward as the same spot in which you left.
Now I believe we all need to have a conversation. An exchange of information.
I think so.
All right. Where are you guys going? Back to the stumble down?
Back to the rope trick.
Would you
Either
like to
one.
have it in my place or in Albari's?
Well, day's still young. It's probably not lunchtime, so doesn't need. Do you have a preference? Do you think anyone here is watching?
There are always eyes in Calimport. And I'll start pulling on my rope.
Okay. Where would you like to go for this? You're going to use the little hideout room or...
Someday I'll have to invite you all to my extra-dimensional space.
You guys can have a sleepover at my house.
Yeah, I can't see anyone else using this particular entrance for a while.
Okay. So here in this room, Nice, Sybil. Nice. Here in this room, Naja pulls out her extra dimensional rope space, which I guess, Sybil, you have not seen. So Naja takes out a rope, and it starts to, as she unfurls it, it snakes its way upwards, like almost like a snake rising from a basket. It just kind of goes up, and as it gets to a certain point in the air, it continues to move, but it continues to disappear. And you can see that the ceiling, or at least when you look up, and it's probably about like 7 feet or so above you, but it has a little bit of a shimmer, kind of like you're looking through a mirage. And I guess, Naja, you're the first one that climbs up into it.
Mm-hmm. It's a little more comfortable this time. There are pillows, and it's kind of set up like the lounge spaces.
Okay. So climbing up, all of you follow, and you disappear into an extra dimensional space where you can have conversation without being spied upon.
I'm not very good at reading people, but I assume the dynamic has changed a little bit.
What is this brotherhood?
You're asking me? I don't know.
No, she's looking at Sybil and Martel. Sybil, Martel, I want to know everything.
There's not much that we can tell you. We know that we are familiar with this, but we don't remember.
Were your minds wiped?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Do you both plan on accompanying me?
Seems like our paths have been intertwined by the weed for a reason.
At what point would we be considered need to know, allowed to hear what you seem to be keeping?
It's not so much that we're keeping information, it's that we don't know specifically.
Do you
This
want?
is in...
No, finish.
Sorry?
No, go finish.
They're an enemy of a friend of ours. We know that.
An enemy, a group is an enemy of a friend of yours.
The friend is also a group.
Ah. Well, I've never gotten much useful. Sorry, that came off especially rude. I've never learned much about your mission from either of you, but if it would be beneficial in what is continuously told to me a very dangerous mission, perhaps you should share what little you do know.
I was gonna
Unless
say,
you think ignorance would continue to protect me.
If I'm going to take you down there and not toss you all three into the nearest entrance, step back and see what happens. I want to know.
do you want me to tell you what you do know?
Sure.
For sure. For sure. Because I was like, I have a half a feeling of me was like,
Tell me, players.
They don't know.
You might not know.
yeah.
Oh no.
You're like, we seriously don't know. The characters don't know. We don't know. No. Okay. So, story time.
And would you share all of this with Aaron before I start taking notes that I wouldn't know in character? I'll just write it all and put a star next to what you don't tell me.
Yeah, there we
Okay,
go.
that-
That's probably for the best.
Okay.
What we do tell you.
I'll just
I'm
let my
gonna be
connection
inciting
cut
the hell
out
out
half
of
of
this
it.
whole
and-
conversation.
Oh my gosh. During your time with the Sisterhood of Demos, you learned enough about them and how they serve a particular prince of the abyss. You have learned that while they are not necessarily evil, they don't necessarily have a specific loyalty to the material plane. They at best they offer a buffer between what the prince wills and his effects on reality. That being said, you know that the exact opposite is true of the Brotherhood. They serve Zool wholeheartedly and do everything they can to bring his will and power here to the material plane, no matter the cost that it would bring. You know that Zool and Demos are one and the same, but they are two different heads of the same prince, and thus have a duality that both works in harmony and also against each other. From what that is probably about the extent of what the Sisterhood has told you. What can be inferred so far, especially as Sybil, you had that conversation with Kestra, is that the Brotherhood is definitely more malicious, and their intent is more geared towards bringing the Abyss and the material plane together. I would say that you probably have just on general knowledge given to you from the Knights of the Weave, there is a general knowledge of what the Blood War is between creatures of the Abyss and the creatures of the Hells. And you know that they don't get along, to put it mildly. Thus, you knowing that the Cult of the Dragon is kind of the head honchos here, and that the cult worships Tiamat, a denizen and ruler from the Hells. The fact that there is a cult that observes, or I should say, that is siding with the Abyss here in the city, means that this is now a ticking time bomb for an altercation between these two forces. If what Rishi said was true, if they are indeed trying to get rid of the regime, then this means that there is some serious foul play coming this way, and that they know no bounds when it comes to this war. Like, the mortal realm be damned. If these two are headed for a clash, it's going to be rather intense. Now, that aside, you know that the Abyss is from the Sisterhood's point of view, a tricky place that kind of grows and latches on to anywhere in the mortal plane or material. I keep saying mortal plane, but it's material plane. The fact that you have seen some of these tunnels and they have an essence to them of the Abyss means that whatever is in the Undercity is probably already changing. And the fact that there is all of this twisting of the weave, you know that a lot of the Abyss twists reality. It twists perception. So it's all of these pieces are kind of like coming together as to like, okay. You also know that as Knights of the Weave and your tenets to avoid those of the arcane nature who would use your abilities for their own devices, the fact that Master Delwyn seems to be involved with the Brotherhood who have no qualms in using things of our great power for their benefit, this is a big bad sign. That's what you know. So from that, you can figure out what it is exactly that you tell the others.
Everything except for that we've been to the Abyss and that we have physically met the sisters. I do want them to know that we know it's connected to the Abyss in some way, maybe not directly. And also that we understand that Zul will have a connection to what we have already been in, like what we've already managed.
Do you share that Delwyn is now involved with Zul?
Well,
or that you think he might be?
I don't want to tell her that because I don't know for sure. And
Yeah.
that's also something that that's a little too close to home. We haven't even told our masters about it yet.
Also, of course, keeping out the fact that, anything to do with the weave probably doesn't need to be shared.
Probably that, not that we have actually physically met the Sisters of Deimos, but we
Know
know
of
the
them.
connection. We know
That
of them,
that's your
we know the
friend.
connection. Yes, they can know that that's our friend.
The Abyss? I'm hardly an expert on the abyss. That was weird. But
Clearly.
it's called the Biss, right? Bisque.
Bisque. It's a bisque.
But Naja, your family seems to be at least temporarily at peace with those that deal with the Abyss. That hardly seems like
Not anymore.
That
But
seems.
they're counting on the fact that these workers of great dangerous evil won't just destroy the city when they've accomplished their goals.
No, I don't think you were quite listening, Master Shaldir. Whatever tenuous truth seems to have been broken. And that is what you are being sent to find. Do not judge the family until you are fighting for survival. You make peace where you can find it, even if you do not like the bedfellows. To be alive and at odds with what it takes is better than to be dead and be right.
Fair enough. But even before things went a bit sour in there, Lord Rishi, is that his title? Rishi, made it very clear that he did not want me to be associated with his support. Now, that's fine. You don't always need to support me. Few do after they know what my goals are, the few that know them. But I was under the assumption that it was kind of, if I get caught down there, I should disavow them, meaning say your family never helped me, because he was afraid that an alliance would be broken, but this alliance was already broken.
They have not upheld their end of the bargain. We are not safe. But there is no sense lighting a match in a room full of powder.
But the powder has just been building underneath your city. Someone's been pouring more and more gunpowder literally beneath your feet. True, a match will make it explode, but the more time that gunpowder has to stockpile, the bigger the explosion will be.
We have survived one explosion by creating a family. We will stay back until we are forced to deal with it again. But now you have dragged me into your mission to go under the city, so apparently we must all go into the room with the powder and keep our matches very close to ourselves.
I thought you were paying attention to the conversation, and I do not want you there if you do not want to be there, Naja. I know I did not make friends in that room, but I at least value you as an ally. I do not want any of you to go where everyone says is dangerous and you will most certainly die. I have unique abilities that allow me to escape in any sort of underground tunneling structure. I cannot account for the rest of you. I've seen you fight. I've seen you be very capable.
I'm going there
But
to figure out how I can help.
A guide.
I'm going there to figure out how to help my family. But do not make a mistake that if it is my life or yours, I would ever pick yours over mine. Sybil,
Just to be
Marcel.
clear.
Wait, what did you say? Let's repeat the last part over.
Oh no, he's frozen with a serious face.
I just see black screen.
Oh no!
Tell Scott to quit playing games.
Hello, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. Weird.
What was the last thing you said?
This is Mothership to Shaudir. Can you hear me? Over. Shaudir,
Yeah, I can hear
Mothership,
you.
can you hear me?
Thank you. Sorry, I don't know why it's deciding to be weird.
It's fine. You're fine. You're fine. Shut your shout down.
Well. Shout down.
Shut down.
Alright, so what were you saying, Shaudir? Oh no.
We'll
Despite
never
the
know.
fact that I am
Oh, wait.
not
Okay.
vested.
The best. The best. He said he loves everyone very much. Yup. Martel and Sybil, what are you guys doing right now?
We definitely need to communicate this with the sisters and our higher ups. Things
We
just got
do.
really, really complicated.
Yeah. Do we have the ability to do that quickly through the weave?
Well, I wouldn't do that here. I would wait until we go off,
Oh, yeah,
off
of
into
course.
our own room.
Yeah, I was gonna say that definitely. We do. There we go.
Yes,
Uh,
do you all need to meditate? Haven't y'all mentioned
will.
in character that you meditate?
Mhm.
Probably.
I want to make sure I didn't say that
Creepily.
yeah. I was watching you meditate.
Gross.
There is, yeah. So you guys can definitely try and reach out through the weave to the masters. That is something that you are.
And
always
we
able to
only
do.
have rope trick for an hour, I believe. So I don't know if we had used most of that hour.
If I've used like maybe 20
Sharing the
minutes,
information.
maybe like 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, maybe at most. You got another half
Okay.
hour or so.
You're welcome to meditate here if you need.
I think we will wait until we get back. I think we'll need more time than we'll be allowed.
Shall we take most of the heat of the day to inform and make a plan
Silly
before
metal.
we head to the Underdark?
I think that's a good idea.
Yes.
Here the whole
Can
time.
you all hear me fine? I was
A
here.
little robotic, but you're here.
You're good.
Dang.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're alive. That's all we care
We
about.
just said that the Weavers want to go meditate, and that we might use the heat of the day to let them meditate and inform and develop a plan to go to the Underdark. I mean, Undercity.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So plan is go back to the stumble down. Go back to the stumble down. Meditate, and you're gonna want to contact the masters. Yes, to tell them.
Yeah.
Or so one of the masters at least to tell them what's going on.
I
you're
would
going-
actually like to meditate a little bit during this time.
Excellent. And just kind of gather yourselves together before you plan out your next move. Right? Sybil, are you going to try and reach the sisterhood? To reach Kestra? Do you want to try and do that, or you want to just focus on contacting the masters?
I want to try to contact Kestra before we contact the masters.
All right. Cool. Shaudir, what is there anything that you would like to do in the interim? I mean, this is more for planning for next time. But is there anything else that you are wanting to do before, while these guys are kind of going to meditate and figure out what to do next?
Am I in time?
Yeah.
Okay, good. To do in the meantime, there's nothing. I don't switch up spell slots, and I do have some gold, but not much. How much are potions? Potions are super expensive, right?
Depends where you want to go.
Inflation
Yeah.
rates in Kalimport are just
They're
astronomical.
bad. Hmm. See, there is a ritual I can perform, but chances aren't good, and if I fail it, I go insane for a day.
Oh, the contact like extraplanar.
Yep.
That just happened to Kindred.
It's a
Yeah.
back pocket ability, but my intelligence is not great.
Try it. What's the worst that could happen?
Needing to push the excursion back
Yeah.
a day.
Never go
Yeah, we
full
don't want
Kindred.
pre-insanity if we're about to go into the abyss under dark.
Yeah. Is the plan all ready to go tomorrow?
Something along
It's
those
probably
lines.
the tentative plan. Yeah.
I mean, you could always
If
go.
you all would like to actually get a real tour of the city today,
You could always go
there's
see.
time for that.
You could always go see Hathor.
I am
That's
tempted.
true.
I've already
true.
spent my inspiration die to do better at this thing. I could try and contact the Abyss and confirm a few things.
Oh, interesting.
Shouter's gonna go to Naja. Meet her just in a like downstairs or something.
Oh, you got the inspiration.
Oh my
again.
For poor busted Trevor.
god!
No, he's dying again. That's fine.
No.
It's fine.
Thank you.
It's fine.
You
You
got too
can't handle
excited.
the inspiration.
It's fine. All right. This is
Shit.
so okay.
Stupid internet.
Here's what we're gonna do. Martel and Sybil and Shaudir and Naja, as you guys finish up from the dimensional space from the rope trick, you guys head out.
I want to
Alright.
wait till like the last second and just very coolly like hold on to the top of the rope and just like have it fall down, just for flavor.
I'm down. This is amazing. I love it. Do it.
Am I still here, by the way?
Yes, you're
Yes.
still here.
Okay, I can never tell when
no,
I
no.
start
Who is-
dropping.
Who is that? Who?
Who?
What?
Sybil and Martel, you guys are going back to the stumble down. Yes?
Yep.
Shaudir, you're going back to the stumble down as well. Or I guess everybody. Everybody's going back to the stumble down for now?
I will take them back to the stumble down, and depending on what Shaudir does,
Okay.
I change where I go to meditate.
If you can hear me fine, I assume you can. Confirm if you can.
Okay.
Yes. We can
Thank you.
hear Shaudir.
Shaudir is going to find the group or Naja and is going to say, I'm going to try something that might literally knock me out for 24 hours. If it doesn't, I will come find you. If it does, I should be good in 24 hours.
I will come knock on your door this evening and see if you are still alive. If not, maybe I will have to go to the Undercity.
Have you ever heard of Contact Other Plane?
I'm afraid this is not magic I'm familiar with. Do I need to tell you?
That is up to the DM what insanity means. But most likely not.
Probably not. We could always find out.
Quick check of the spell.
Hey, thanks, Misty Mountain Streaming.
Hey!
Oh, so I see you're going through Cthulhu stuff too. Cool.
Well, actually,
Abyssal
I checked
things.
and I would be fine. I'd be hurt and literally, to use meta terms, unable to perform actions until I finish a long rest. So I would be out. I'd be non-functional. But it is the best thing I can think of to try and get some more specific answers.
Alrighty. So, before you fade out, Shaldir.
Shaldir, I'm going to essentially lock you in your room. I will know if you get up during the next 24 hours. I don't know. No, never mind. I'm not going to do that because you said you'd be like useless if you went insane. I'll just come check on you.
Okay. I'll figure out.
Sounds good.
Oh, there he is. Whom in the abyss are you trying to contact?
Oh no, he's
Sorry.
frozen with a creepy smile.
I know! Oh, said who in the abyss are you trying to contact?
This contract's extraplanar stuff.
Well,
is
we
not
will.
well.
You just text it to me. It's fine. Martel, Sybil, you go to your rooms to prepare to meditate.
Go to your room.
Sybil, you concentrate in on the presence that is Kestra, the sister of Demos that you recently had a conversation with. And you go into a trance. Martel, you await. Are you waiting for Sybil to come out of this conversation, or are you going to try and speak with the masters?
I guess I can try and speak with the masters, and then if there's extra information that she has, we can just contact them again.
You what?
There he goes.
You concentrate in on meditating, as you normally do. There is a presence in your mind. A presence in this room. A familiar one. Gaius? Master Delwyn? You can feel his presence with you.
Sorry, who is this?
You feel, it's like closing your eyes and seeing this orb of light off to the side. You can try and reach out to touch this, or you can ignore it. Martel. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. I like touching stuff. Let's touch it.
Oh, and there we have
Martel.
our phrase for the evening. You touch the source, and it's in a way of connecting the two minds together. You feel like you've fallen into an icy river. and immediately you feel like the break of a fever, the sweat across your body. This is not good.
Knight of the Weave. I sense you both are looking for me.
Appears I've found you.
After a fashion. You do not
What have you done?
I have done the unthinkable. I have joined with the Weave. I have something to share with you. You and Sybil both. I can't wait to meet you.
The sensation of your skin rolling off of your body covers you. And
Gross.
your eyes blink open. And you see Sybil staring at you.
Hello?
And you both give each other wide-eyed glances. And that's where we're ending for tonight.
Man. Sorry.
Dum dum
There's
dum.
I
right,
can't
at
wait
least this is not a
till
consistent
contact
problem.
extra planar being and how my meditation's gonna go. It's doing great.
I'm sure nothing terrible will happen. We're gonna have so many interesting things.
And nothing can go wrong.
Nope, not at all. Cause Sybil, we're starting out, hopefully. Sybil, this is after his waking up is going to be right after you wake up from talking to Kestra. So it's going to be a like, we both have things to share kind of moment. So that's gonna be fun. Shaudir contacting, who are you trying to contact in the Abyss?
No one in particular. This, the way
Just-
the spell works, you could just reach out to a being, or because what he's going to try and gleam, spoiler, is find out who
there.
Zool is.
Let's go
Oh.
straight for Zool.
Oh, well. This is really going to be good. All right, cool. Well, we have a very interesting
Great,
episode.
I will have to go to the Undercity because all my new friends will be possessed by Zool. Bye.
One of us.
We'll take you,
one of
and then
us,
you'll get
one-
possessed.
Back to the docks I go to find some less creepy schlubs to
This is like the
steal
7th
from.
time. This has happened several times this month.
Again with my groups. God, I just need money.
They keep heading to the Undercity.
Why? I don't understand.
Or this is Groundhog Day, and she's doing everything she can to keep us from
Oh no.
going to the
That would be
Undercity.
cool, but
But we keep deciding.
For real. Welp. Y'all, that was fun. Interesting. Learned some things. Martel, you know some things. Sybil, you know some things. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of interesting little tidbits that are roiling around. Zool is cool. Hannah, come on. Come on. You're supposed to be the chosen one. You're supposed to fight
You're
Zool,
supposed
not
to bring balance to the force.
you're supposed to fight Zool,
Not
not
summon
join
him.
them. You're like, Zool's cool though. Zool's got a better name than Demos.
Zool's kind of dope. From
Zool's kind of.
my point of view, those who don't like Zool are evil.
Oh no, we are doing it. Well, thank you so much for those of you who have joined us in our little trip today. Thank you to Bards of New York for the raid and Misty Mountain streaming. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us. We always appreciate talking and meeting with peoples from the community. We are in part of one of the things that I was going to announce that over the course of the summer. we here on Nights Silver Moon used to do a thing called Lore Dumplings where we would go and we would interview people from other streams. That's how we met Dreamy. Yeah, that's how we met Dreamy and several other members of our community. So hopefully coming this summer, we are going to be picking that up again and having little sit downs with several of our streamer friends, whom we have gotten to know over the last year, but get to really know them. Aside from the fact that we also have our campaign finale coming up within the next couple of weeks, potentially. So we'll be doing more Lore Dumplings talking about that. And so it's just a general, like a little talk show that we do, and should be fun and exciting to get to know all of you peoples.
Come hang out in our Discord to just hang out with these lovely folks and to keep up with all of the events happening. We try to keep our Discord events updated so you know what's going on when and where.
Yep, there's the Linky Poo. There in the campaign art, we'll post some pictures. Actually, I'm gonna post a picture of what the figure that Martel was speaking to just now. So that's gonna be fun. Put a nice little image in there for him to see, for you to see, for all of you all to see. Plus all the other. So our
only for Martel to see.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm gonna cry. Tomorrow we have campaign finale. Yeah, there's a lot of cool people in the Discord, and I'm also there. Yes, thank you, Tegan. We're glad to have you here. Yes, yeah. So tomorrow is our main campaign, Game of Santos, where this mini series that we're doing tonight takes place in the same continent, just different parts of the world, different stories, same world. So it's gonna be fun to see how all of this is going to come together. I think that's covers it. See you tomorrow, 7 p.m. See you. Do you guys? I know Sunday you have the.
Oh yes, it is Kindred Wednesday on Clickety Clackety with me and Trevor.
Okay, so then you guys can see the two views on Wednesday, and then Sunday for the wrap up of Fae Court. I was gonna say Fae Hunters.
And then maybe a fun announcement about what happens after Fae Court.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what is happening with all these fun and exciting things. But do give. So we gave shout outs to Bards and Misty Mountain Gaming. Go give them follows if you haven't done so already. And we will see you guys around the Twitchverse. Stay Fae, everyone. Be safe. And we'll see you on the next day that ends with Y. Bye.